I'm going to call this segment the good, the bad, and the ugly of organic gardening, because there's certainly a lot of each. And to me, I think organic gardening is partly letting go of all those ideas of like a perfectly manicured garden. You can see my pretty wild one used with all recycled things. And you can let me know what you think. I'm up to suggestions for sure. Here's an example of the good, the bad, and the ugly all in one. So my ground cherries, as I showed you before, have just reseeded themselves from previous years. So it's certainly not from a gardening book, all pretty rows of certain things. It's like overshadowing these carrots here. And I could rip them out and give the carrots a better chance, but I do love ground cherries, so I find it hard to do. And then the really good thing about it is this part, is these ground cherries, which I consider nature's present, and then you unwrap them and you never know how perfect they are. And then that is the sweetest, tartest, most beautiful fruit out there. Here's my cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and broccoli. As you can see, the broccoli is doing well and nothing else is. So what I'm going to do is I have a bucket here of manure, and I'm going to sprinkle it around the base of all these plants and hopefully get them going, because I only have about maybe 4 weeks left of growing before a frost. You can see here that my pepper plants aren't doing too much. The ones in the greenhouse are doing much better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fertilize them. You can see some nice peppers back here starting, but I'm going to give them a boost of fertilizer, and then we'll see if that helps. So just for comparison, my peppers in my greenhouse are doing really beautifully. The hot peppers, and then the sweet peppers back there, and then these ones, I think they're called Hungarian hot peppers, the ones that are growing vertically like that. My eggplant, by the way, that I showed you last time never actually took, but it's flowering again. So a gardener's weakness is that we never give up hope, right? This here is the buckwheat plant that I plant for the green manure, and underneath you can see I also have clover, but this makes thousands of little black seeds. And I don't want my garden to be completely overrun with it by next year. So after it flowers, I let the bees eat, and then I just rip it up and throw it down, so that all that good nitrogen that's in that stalk and in those roots are going to go back into the earth. Peas and beans are also natural nitrogen fixers, so I just chuck their stems and that and leave them there in the garden to compost for next year as well. So the good, the bad, and the absolute ugly. Look at this. I've absolutely lost to the porcupines. They found my beautiful pumpkin. And if anybody has any suggestions about what to do to keep porcupines out of your garden, I would love to hear them. Somebody said that you need to shoot them, and I am certainly not prepared to kill someone for eating a squash, but it does annoy me. So at the beginning I was saying how sometimes the bugs eat the plants. My grandmother had an expression about processed foods, and she would say, if the bugs won't eat it, neither should we. Well, if the plants are healthy, there are bugs that are going to eat it, and as long as the plant is still healthy and producing, I don't worry about that on there. I don't even put organic sprays on it. Look back here to see how well they're doing. There's my experiment with the bed frame, and we have a couple. There's another one down there. A big squash is coming along, and the cucumbers are doing really nice too. Okay, here's my favorite part, talking tomatoes. So you can see that there's a lot of fruit set on there. Over there, right there, you can see the beautiful, they're kind of dark right now, but they should go red later, the dark galaxy ones that I was super excited to plant this year. But you can also see that there's some yellow leaves at the bottoms, and that's mostly from splash from the water coming up, and the leaves get that kind of spottiness to it. But at the beginning of the season, I work hard at pinching those off when I can, but at this time of year, it's almost a losing battle. And once the fruit is set, and there's tons of fruit growing, I don't really worry about it that much, you know? My mom's actually doing an experiment, I'll let you know how it goes, where she's actually cutting all the leaves off and just leaving the fruit, which seems like a crazy idea to me, but I guess we need to wait and see the result. According to my mom, this is the best idea of what to do with onions, is to hang them in a warm place to dry out really well before you store, for a month before you store them for the winter. So I hope you liked the video about the good and the bad and the ugly of organic gardening. Let me know if you have any thoughts, suggestions on how to deal with porcupines, or whether you think it's a good idea or not to leave the plants to rot and decompose in the garden. Any suggestions are welcome, and any questions I'll try to answer next time. Thanks.